magic circle transports an entire classroom to another world, but Haruka, the class loner, is the last to be taken. The eccentric god in charge explains that all the good skills and gear have already been claimed, leaving Haruka only the useless leftovers. Frustrated, Haruka dumps all his points into luck and starts experimenting. He discovers a loner skill that protects him when he's alone, uses appraisal contact lenses, finds a cave, and learns that monsters avoid him. Armed only with a wooden staff, he defeats goblins and begins leveling up efficiently. By day 5, he spots his classmates exploring the area, including the class rep he secretly likes, but chooses to avoid them and continue surviving on his own. Haruka's progress stalls at level 3 thanks to his useless Master of None skill, until he runs into the class nerds, already level 16 thanks to their Isekai knowledge. After feeding them, he learns the delinquents tried to enslave the girls using charm and puppeteer. But the nerds blocked them with magic seal, leading the delinquents to destroy the camp and blame the nerds, who were then exiled. The nerds leave to become adventurers, and Haruka later finds the gals regretting their part in the mess. He advises them to survive on their own and apologize, but accidentally triggers Subjugate, turning them into mindless slaves. Panicking about what the class rep will think, she suddenly appears, while elsewhere, the delinquents prepare to take the girls by force. Haruka subjugates. That night, the class rep confesses she feels like a failed leader, but Haruka reassures her no one could have handled their situation perfectly. The next morning, the girls catch fish, something Haruka never managed, and during breakfast his packing skill accidentally absorbs a girl's lightning spell, permanently unlocking it for himself. Before heading to town, Haruka insists on training them, and despite a rough start, they learn to fight monsters. The class rep then orders Haruka to accompany them to town, much to his frustration since he wants to stay a loner in the forest. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a hooded student murders one of the boys from their class. While escorting the girls and fighting orcs, Haruka meets the jocks, who warn him about the deadly skill hijack, a power that steals skills through murder. After they leave, the class rep quietly admits she's the one who has it. Haruka reveals he already knew and isn't afraid of her. Experimenting with his abilities, he combines skills and invents airwalk, letting him step on air like invisible stairs. Once they exit the forest, Haruka spots a group under attack by wolves. Urged by the class rep, he rescues them and meets Ofter's adventuring party. Together, they all head toward the town of Omui. Meanwhile, the delinquents plot to hunt down the nerds to reclaim their stolen charm and puppeteer skills, and then target the girls next. Watching from the shadows, the jocks grow increasingly worried. The class rep brings everyone to the Adventurers Guild, where the girls register easily thanks to their high levels. Haruka, however, is stuck at level 9 and can't join a party due to his loner skill, making him ineligible. When he tries selling his monster crystals, he has so many that the guild literally runs out of money, forcing the guild boss to give him an 8 million down payment. At a rare items caravan, Haruka finds a Combine 7 necklace, but when the class rep startles him, he falls onto the display and accidentally fuses multiple items together. The merchant demands payment for everything, leaving Haruka broke again. Missing the forest, he uses an invisibility cloak to sneak out of town, but ends up rescuing a carriage from bandits. The passenger, Marielle, turns out to be the Lord's daughter, and after Haruka insults Omui, she refuses to let him leave until she proves the town's worth. Meanwhile, tensions rise as the jocks and delinquents prepare to fight until the mysterious hooded student suddenly stabs a delinquent from behind. The hooded student murders all 4 delinquents. Meanwhile, Marielle drags Haruka to her father's mansion to reward him with money and an Omui citizenship ID, but he keeps ignoring her until she finally lets him go. The class rep confines Haruka to the inn, unaware his new ID lets him leave town freely. Returning to his cave, Haruka finds the jocks badly injured. The hooded student attacked them, stole their weapons, and is now hunting the class rep to steal hijack. Haruka heals the jocks with mushroom potions and sends them back to Omui. Experimenting with random skill combinations, he defeats a goblin emperor, reaches level 11, and invents a new instant strike ability called Made Up. He finally confronts the hooded student, revealed to be Tanaka, a mathematical prodigy who never fit in and has been manipulating events to eliminate classmates until only girls, jocks, and nerds remain. Haruka challenges him to a decisive fight. Tanaka hits Haruka with metal, slowing his movements, and tries to burn him, but Haruka absorbs the magic using his combined staff. Tanaka wields stolen weapon skills and Copycat, which lets him mimic abilities 3 times each. He even fires death, but Haruka survives thanks to well-being and his maxed-out luck. When Tanaka demands to know how Haruka resists metal, Haruka reveals he's been using dummy to puppet control his own body the entire fight. Once Tanaka exhausts his copied skills, Haruka tells him he could never win because he relied only on stolen abilities and never trained himself. Haruka finishes him with made up. Badly injured, Haruka is rescued by the nerds and taken back to Omui, where the gals apologize to them. Haruka tries to sneak away again, but the class rep catches him with a hug and hands him over to the girls, who drag him back into town for an all-night group scolding. The nerds secretly plan to hunt an artifact that makes its owner irresistible to women, motivating Haruka to chase it first so the girls will stop scolding him. On the way to the dungeon, he wipes out an entire orc horde, unknowingly preventing a town-wide crisis, and gets scolded again for being reckless. The next day, a rare item merchant tells him about a charisma ring hidden on the dungeon's deepest floor. The nerds overhear and alert the class rep, so when Haruka heads out, the entire class tails him to stop him. Haruka flees into the dungeon, crashes through a wall, and plummets all the way to level 101. Miraculously unharmed, he enters the final boss chamber and comes face to face with the Dungeon Emperor, a fully armed skeletal overlord. As storm clouds gather over the dungeon, Mariel's father puts the guild on high alert. Deep inside, Haruka faces the Dungeon Emperor, whose overwhelming power hides a surprising truth. It has no bloodlust and is being controlled by dark miasma. Haruka purifies it with holy magic and tries to grant it a peaceful death, but accidentally subjugates it instead, resetting the grateful Emperor, now revealed as Angelica, to level 1. Forced to climb upward, Haruka must defeat every floor boss from 100 to the surface. Thanks to his absurd luck, he accidentally one-shots the floor 100 king, and Angelica loots its armor, which reshapes her body but turns out to be cursed. Meanwhile, the class reps group reaches floor 50, and the guild realizes Haruka is missing. Haruka and Angelica continue clearing bosses, including a living sword on floor 95. As the class defeats their own boss, Haruka and Angelica reach floor 85, just as the entire dungeon begins to shake, signaling a massive monster army on the move. Haruka and Angelica push upward through the dungeon, defeating floor bosses and gathering rare items while the other students descend from above. In Omui, adventurers barely repel 2 monster waves, prompting the guild boss to send Gatak and a reluctant Marielle to warn the students and retrieve Haruka, the only one strong enough to stop the stampede. Haruka gives Angelica 3 powerful magic items, which dramatically boost her abilities. On a scorching fireplane floor, the two rest on a cooler ledge. Meanwhile, Gatak and Marielle reach the students and explain the crisis. Through the wall passage Haruka once fell through, he and the class rep hear each other's voices. She informs him of the attack on Omui. Gatak insists the only solution is to kill the Dungeon Emperor, but Haruka refuses to abandon Angelica and vows to find a way to stop the stampede and save her. The final massive monster wave charges toward Omui, and the exhausted adventurers brace for a last stand. Deep in the dungeon, the students are about to be wiped out by the Sphinx boss when Haruka and Angelica arrive just in time to defeat it. Haruka rallies everyone and uses the floor's teleport to reach the surface. They arrive at Omui exactly as the monster army appears, and Haruka sends Angelica forward. Using her Dungeon Emperor authority, she instantly transports the entire horde back into the dungeon, ending the stampede on the spot. The town is stunned but overjoyed, and Haruka introduces Angelica as the true Dungeon Emperor. Later at the inn, Haruka displays all the rare loot he collected and announces a huge sale, triggering a chaotic buying frenzy among the girls while the boys get consolation items. As the excitement settles, Haruka quietly wonders whether Angelica, a loner much like himself, will be able to adapt to life in this new world. After Haruka's big item sale, the class rep and the girls whisk Angelica away to hear her story, fully restored. Checking his updated skills, Haruka decides to return to the forest to train, with Angelica following him, much to the class rep's unease. Back at his cave, though she still can't speak and insists on staying with him. After a few days, they return to Omui, where Angelica is warmly welcomed by the girls, while the boys desperately try to pry details out of Haruka about their alone time. As Haruka prepares to slip away, Angelica approaches and speaks her first words, thanking him. Watching everyone settle into their new lives, Haruka resolves to grow even stronger and conquer this world as a loner.